All right. Welcome to Brensanity, your one-stop shop for all things Brendan Fraser 24/7, 365.
More like twice a month on occasional Mondays.
Except for this month, you get us thrice.
Thrice.
Thrice monthly this month.
Thrice monthly some months. Occasionally thrice. Always twice.
Always twice.
It's been a
Super
day.
nice.
It's been a day.
It's been a day.
And we are here to talk about two very different movies, as usual, because we like to vary our movies up.
Yep.
We're not watching two dramas in one day. We're not watching two comedies in one day.
Oh, no, never.
No. So, this is Inkheart and The Quiet American.
Yes.
They could not be more different.
Very different movies.
What are we talking about first?
Let's talk about Inkheart.
Ah, yeah. So, I really liked it. It's very, nice family movie. And, I love, our man, Brendan Fraser, is just such a good dad in this movie.
I'm gonna keep it 100 and say I didn't care for it the first time I watched it.
But
then I rewatched it to give it another chance and see if maybe I was just in a mood. And apparently I was, because the second time I watched it, it was pretty good.
Look, it's not gonna win Oscars, There's formulaic stuff there that would be in a fairy tale. But it's sweet.
It is sweet. It's a very sweet movie. That's a good word for it.
Yeah.
It's a sweet children's movie.
It's imagine that you're 10 and it's on TV and you have homemade Rice Krispies.
Rice Krispie treats?
Yes, that's what I meant. Oops.
You puffed your own rice.
Yes, I harvested it and I puffed it and I ate it. No sugar.
No sugar.
I absolutely meant Rice Krispies treats. See what I mean? It's an afternoon kids movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And it's really fun. Although there are some things in it that are perplexing.
There are some things I had some trouble with.
And as always, y'all, there's going to be spoilers. So if you are if you are listening, this is the level of quality they're used to.
Oh, yeah.
If you are listening to this, then, and you haven't watched it yet, and you want to watch it, you don't want spoilers, well then stop, pause right now, and go watch both of these movies, frankly. But Quiet American before Inkheart if you're doing a double feature.
Yeah.
And then come back. Yeah. Otherwise, if you don't care about spoilers, good, because we are diving in. So,
all right. So,
do you find the most perplexing?
I really would have liked to have seen more buildup of the Silver Tongue mythos.
Yes.
Because the whole point of the movie is Brendan Fraser can bring things to life if he reads them aloud.
Yeah. Stuff just pops out of books.
Stuff pops out of books.
You're reading Harry Potter aloud, poof, there's Harry Potter.
Yeah. But sometimes something goes into the book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You read Harry Potter comes out of the book. And
maybe your cat goes in.
I was going to say your cat too. That's crazy.
Same brain.
So you can't control who goes into the book. You can't control who comes out or what comes out.
You can kind of guide it.
If you're reading a certain passage,
there's one point where they need to make a great escape, so they read from The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. They read about the Great Cyclone.
And they just bring a cyclone.
Boom, tornado.
Man, that's ballsy, because you don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
You could, escape and then get sucked up in the tornado and die, and then what was the point? But, okay.
All right.
Do
your thing.
But also, yeah, there's more than one. It's not it's just his superpower. His daughter inherits it. There's that other guy there.
Yeah, so there's at least 3.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to know if there are more.
And then, what kind of organization is governing them, because that is a really terrifying power.
Yeah.
But it's just, anarchy? That is out there in libraries? Fucking shit up?
Just doing whatever? Working for some sort of mob?
So every time that, someone thinks that we, shifted into another universe, it's actually, some Silver Tongue has done something dumb. New conspiracy theory.
Mind blown.
That's what the universe needs. More
conspiracy theories.
Well, one of the perplexing things that I saw in there, and so did you, where did that dress come from? Why do you
Okay.
have that dress? Because this is like way at the end. Like we jump all over the place.
Yeah. So, the bad guy, Capricorn,
great,
coolest name ever.
Great name for a bad guy.
Finds out that Meggie,
worst name.
Worst name ever.
I'm sorry, Maggie. It should be Maggie. It's the way it is.
Sorry, if your name is Meggie, you can change that, you know.
If your name is Maggie, I would go by Megan.
Just go by Meg.
Yeah, Megan or Meg. There's something about Maggie that just, I don't know.
It's just weird.
But anyway.
Anyway, Capricorn finds out that Meggie is a silver tongue as well. And so he wants her to read out the shadow, the main villain of the book Inkheart. And so his original plan was to have Brendan Fraser read out the shadow. But can't get Brendan Fraser. So gets his daughter. But then he puts the daughter in this dress.
Really, like, a whole elaborate situation.
And I just wonder...
And tiara.
Oh, and a tiara. And I just wonder, why did they have that dress? Where did they get it? And were they going to put Brendan Fraser in that dress?
Well, because is it like the special reading garment?
Is it the ceremonial garb of the shadow ceremony?
Right? Because, like, just reading stuff out of a book doesn't warrant a fancy dress, because the other guy that they have that they're forcing to read stuff, he's just in, like, a coat and scarf and gloves.
Yeah, he's just in regular clothes.
Although I don't think he is dressed appropriately for the weather. It's, like, warm, and everybody else is wearing, like, t-shirts, and he's, like, fully winter clothing.
Winter clothing.
Don't know what's going on with that man.
No idea.
Yeah, the dress is confusing. I would love to know. We might have to read the book one of these days.
Yeah, that's another thing. I feel like I missed a lot of stuff because I didn't read the book.
Yeah, I feel like one of those movies that you need to.
They kind of just assumed that you read the book, so you know what this is. You know why the mom is gone. You know what happened to her.
Yeah, they really shouldn't assume that.
They shouldn't. And one of my big problems with this movie was the editing of it.
Oh, yeah. Because
the first time I watched it, I did not care about the mom being gone.
Well, the first time, like, up until the point when I realized, like, wow, she was gone, I was like, this bitch just left her family. Because it's not clear.
It's not clear. It's just, they are a family, and then it's suddenly just Mortimer?
Yeah, Mortimer.
And Maggie.
And Aunt Eleanor was all like, yeah, it's abandonment. And I was like, yeah, it is abandonment. And then it's like, oh, it's not abandonment? She was sucked into a book. Well, who knew?
But there's this whole section. Brendan Fraser tells Maggie what happened to the mom.
That's where we're not always this mean. We're like mean today.
We are.
We'll get better.
She's a child.
Yeah, it's not her fault. That's
her name. Her fault. So Mortimer is telling Maggie what happened to her mom, and I feel like I would have cared a lot more if that scene had been shown at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. And honestly, he could have told her earlier.
He could have. Like, she was like plenty old enough.
Yeah, we could have started it with like, "Hey, you're like 16 now. I'm gonna tell you. I mean, whatever age she is.
She's like 12.
Oh, well, she's preteen, I guess. He was like, "Hey, you're old enough now to know what happened to your mom 7 years ago."
Yeah.
I can't remember how old she was in this movie.
I know.
Well, that doesn't seem right.
She's like 12 or 13.
Oh my god. I feel like the boy who is like really into her and flirting with her is way older than that.
Fareed's just had a harder life.
That's true. He's been one of the 40 thieves.
He's one of the 40 thieves.
He's probably 11.
I've got a bone to pick about Fareed as well.
Oh, all right. Dive into it.
So, Fareed came out of...
Oh, wait. Before you do that, though, I have to say, I love exactly what you're saying about, like, why, like, we should have this in the beginning. And that whole scene when you see that happen, that whole scene when you see the mom get sucked into the book and Capricorn comes out, even if Maggie didn't know, we the viewers could have known. If they just put that scene in the beginning, we would have known. And we'd be like, oh, you don't know, he hasn't told you because you were a little kid. We would know, and we would care.
We would know, and we would care.
So yeah, I kind of want to read the book and see what it's like in there. But yeah, Farid.
Farid is one of the 40 thieves. Not necessarily magical. How can he conjure fire?
Gosh, he is 12. Sorry, I just...
Yes!
I just looked it up. How old is Farid? Is he a creep? Oh, a young boy. Okay. He's had a hard life.
Just had a harder life.
All right. He looks 15.
So Dustfinger is a fire juggler. Quote unquote. He can conjure fire.
And juggle it.
And juggle it.
So.
I don't know why I quote unquoted the fire juggler
He's
part.
A legit fire juggler.
He is a fire juggler. He
licensed and bonded.
Yeah. Because he's licensed and bonded.
Anyway, sorry.
So anyway, Farid is like, teach me how to do that. And then he fucking does. And I don't understand how this non-magical child can conjure fire.
I have a theory. Okay. So my theory is that we don't know enough about this Inkheart universe, and it must be in there that magic is teachable and not inborn.
I suppose.
Maybe that's something that's in the book that's like understands that you understand in the book, because magical realism, like, who knows what kind of way it's going to be.
Yeah.
But they didn't make it clear in the movie, because, like, if he could teach everyone that quickly, anyone, they should have all been throwing fire.
They should have.
Because, like, imagine how fast you could kill Capricorn if you just shoot fire at him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he should have been like, gather around, you guys. I'm going to teach you how to conjure fire.
Let me teach you how to do this. Ta-da!
Because he totally teaches Farid, and then Farid uses it.
Yeah. And then at the end, Farid is talking to Maggie, and he's like, yeah, I can teach you how to do that.
So apparently, it's teachable.
It's fucking easy. I got this.
But the thing is, can Farid teach Maggie? Because if magic is teachable in Dustfinger's universe, and Dustfinger has taught Farid because it's teachable in his universe, I don't think Farid can teach Maggie. Because the 40 Thieves is a story in our world.
Yeah.
Like, where you can't just teach... Well, I guess you can teach somebody magic in, like, the mythos of our universe. Can't you? So I guess he can teach Maggie Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
It's too much.
It's crazy.
It's a bridge too far. This non-magical child conjuring fire. That I cannot accept.
I really want to know why that is. Yeah. There's so many unanswered questions in Inkheart.
There are, and I don't know why I'm just stuck on this one.
Well, maybe you're jealous and you want to conjure fire.
Maybe I do.
I do.
Maybe I want Paul Bettany to teach me how to do something.
I want anyone to teach me how to conjure fire. I would pay for that.
Yeah.
That would be a really cool skill to have.
I would.
Yeah.
So, but let's talk about Eleanor.
Yes, and then things that we love.
Speaking of things that we love.
Because I both hated and loved Eleanor.
Yeah.
At first, I was all like, woman, why do you only care about your library? What about your grand niece and her, like, lost mom? She's like, don't touch anything.
Don't touch anything.
She's rich as fuck, living alone on some island off of Italy, it looks like.
Yeah.
So what? Why have you not been in your grand niece's life? What?
I think she's agoraphobic.
She has to be. But then she gets on that motorcycle.
Yeah.
That's jumping all the way to the end. Oh
yeah.
my god, it was a very cool scene.
It was.
What's your favorite thing about Eleanor? Because she really is fantastic.
I think it was when she was on the motorcycle.
Yeah, it was great.
She was just like, what are you doing? I'm doing this, apparently. Talking to herself the whole time.
Look at yourself, Eleanor.
Look at you. What are you doing? Going to save them? That's crazy.
I love when she kept trying to, like, take care of everyone, but then act like she wasn't, and, like, she was kind of annoyed by them.
Uh-huh.
Like, Fareed needs to eat, and he needs to have better clothes, because he's just got, like,
a vest and some pants on.
A vest and some very thin desert
pants.
Not European weather pants. He needs proper pants, and she was like, you're gonna get cold, and how long has it been since you ate? And then she's like, oh, I'm so annoyed with you guys.
I'm leaving, here's some money.
I love that.
I want to be that aunt. I strive to be that auntie.
Yeah.
Just here's some money, I'm going home.
Eat, have good food.
Have good food.
Here's money. Good luck with your quest.
I'm leaving.
To my library, which was very sad to see, like, burned and destroyed.
It was.
But maybe that was the impetus that she needed to, like, revenge.
Because you're not gonna... He burned all the books.
You can't
You're not getting them back.
Yeah. You can't abide that and then just, like, live there and, like, not take revenge on the man that burned all your books.
Yeah.
Also, Capricorn is not only a great name for a villain, it's a great villain.
Yeah.
Kind of a dumb villain, but I guess a lot of villains are.
A lot of villains are dumb.
Because it was like, he really thought the Shadow was gonna just, like, I don't know, do what he wanted?
Yeah.
Give me a break, dude.
He's the Shadow.
He's like above and beyond your evil little guy.
Yeah.
But, oh God, what's his name? Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
Freaking love him.
Fantastic.
His expressions, amazing. And I love the line where he's like, yeah, I lied.
I lie. All the time.
It's what I do.
It's what I do.
I'm a lying liar.
Lie.
And that's never like he's throwing a copy of Inkheart into the fire. Like apparently he always does when he finds a copy, although there's a secret copy he's been holding on to. But Dustfinger's like, you promised me that you would read me back into the book. And he was like, yeah, I lied.
I lie all the time.
All the time. I'm a liar.
I'm a liar.
And it was just so funny. He's like, yeah, Dustfinger, how long are you going to fall for this shit?
You keep coming back.
Yeah. And you keep betraying everyone who's trying to help you. But in the end, you know, he learns. Like every good family movie.
Kinda.
He does. Because he
takes off. He assumes that Mortimer is going to go back on his promise, and he just takes off.
Yeah, I take it back. You're right. What the fuck? But then Fareed is like, no, you promised. He's like, yeah, he's not going to keep that. No one ever keeps their promises.
Except for Mo.
Yeah, and then Mo is like running because he's a good dad, a stand-up guy, and a goddamn shit.
Yes.
So he's running up and he's like, hey, where are you going to go? I told you I would read you back in there. And he was like, what? But like, he misses his family too. And then they get reunited.
That scene did kind of crush me a little bit.
Yeah. With his kids.
There's a part where they're fighting about Dustfinger going back into the book. And Dustfinger, like, grabs Mo, and he's like, I miss my family, too. And it's kind of...
Yeah.
Oh.
The part that made me cry during the movie, because I'm a sap,
Mm-hmm.
was when Maggie recognized her mom in that net thing.
Yeah.
And she'd been read out, so she'd been sucked into the book, right? And then read out of the book by the other guy who's not as good of a silver tongue. I assume because of the stutter.
Because of the stutter.
So there's like something wrong with people when they come out of the book, and there's like words on them. And like she had lost her tongue or her voice. I'm not entirely sure. Because she didn't make any sounds. So I'm assuming her voice.
Any sound. So.
Yeah. So she lost her voice. And so she can't like yell out or anything. And there's several times when she's like so close to her family. Like whenever Dustfinger could totally have reconnected them.
Yes.
And they just had to run right back there. Like, dude, you're not helping anything. Just, they had to run right back there.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous. But yeah, whenever Maggie recognized her mom, it made me cry.
It was good.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a sweet movie, and Brendan Fraser, I cannot talk. Brendan Fraser is amazing in it, because he's amazing at everything.
Because he is.
And even though there are parts of the movie where it's like, why is it like this? Not his parts. Oh, God, we can't stop talking about this movie before we talk about the author of Inkheart.
Oh, the author.
Oh, God. So mad at him.
So mad at him.
Like, okay, number one, he didn't take it seriously at all, even though he wrote these characters. He knows that they're villainous.
He knows.
And he's just like, oh, they threatened me, and so I told them where you are. These children I'm supposed to be taking care of and protecting.
He didn't even care that he didn't have Fareed anymore.
No, at all. And then he was just like, wow, they really are as evil as I imagined. Yeah, man.
I really did write these bastards.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Holy shit. And then, like, just consistently, he's just like the weak link.
Yeah.
Consistently. Slughorn.
Fucking Slughorn.
Damn.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna cut that out.
You really shouldn't.
I really shouldn't, but I probably will.
Don't worry, I'll burp at some point, I'm sure.
You're not drinking as much as me.
Yeah.
Oh. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm about to be. And it's a particular burpy one. So, this one is movies and burps.
Yep. Again, the quality you come to expect from this podcast.
Listen, we say we watch everything Brendan Fraser has been in. We drink, and we talk about it.
We talk about it.
Hopefully, our listeners have listened to our older ones where there's like the sound of your lighter and clinking of glasses. But
the
yeah.
Of a beer can.
Can we talk about Finoglio's return into the book? Not return, but going back into the book. It's so, oh my god, it makes me so angry.
That was undeserved. It was an undeserved happy ending.
I don't know that it is. I think he thinks it's going to be happy.
It's what he wanted, and
he might regret it, and then no one's going to get him out of that book.
Yeah.
Because
Brendan Fraser's not going to read out loud anymore.
Never again.
And
he's going to teach his daughter not to read out loud. Yeah. Who would ever know to read him out anyway? Because he, like, lived alone. They're just going to be like, well, this author, like, this weirdo disappeared.
Weird dude showed up in this book.
Yeah. And people in the book aren't going to think anything weird about it because it's, like, a whole world.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he created this, like, sort of medieval fantasy world. There's no antibiotics. The doctors are going to put, like, dead frogs around your neck to take the fever away. He doesn't think. He's just like, oh, I want to live in my fantasy world.
He doesn't have any money.
Yeah, he doesn't have that money there. He's going to have to get a job.
Yeah.
Earn coins.
What kind of skill do you have?
Nothing. Well, I guess he can write, but, like, what? He's going to have to do it.
They can't read.
And quill and ink and stuff.
Yeah.
And books in the medieval era, like, you have to work hard to get that stuff. He's not a king or anything.
Yeah. Are you just going to follow Dustfinger around?
Dustfinger is going to get real tired of that.
Real tired of you.
So I think he thinks it's a happy ending. It's definitely spun in the movie like it's a happy ending. But, I mean, if you just think realistically for 5 seconds, I think he's going to have regrets, and it'll be too late. And he's a wee bit selfish.
A little bit, yeah. Because apparently he's got, like, grandkids.
Right, he does, which means he has children. He just fucks off into a book.
Yeah.
So there's going to be, like, missing person stuff, and people are crying on the news, being like, bring our grandfather home. And he'll just be singing to himself, frolicking through some forest until he gets sick and can't get anything to fix his flu. Idiot. Total idiot. Best character in this whole fucking thing was Mortimer.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Just, those are my big problems with Inkheart. Why do they have that dress?
Mm-hmm.
How can Fareed conjure fire?
I'm less bothered by that, but I get it.
What did Slughorn do to deserve his happy ending?
And is it happy at all?
And is it actually happy at all?
I really want to have a little bit more free time than I have, which is 0. and and read the Inkheart, like, trilogy, because I want to read them in German because I can, and I want to read them because their names sound like this: Tentenherz. Probably pronouncing that not very well, but I'm pronouncing it as well as I can at this moment. Inkheart is Tintenherz, right? And then it's the first book in the Inkheart series. The next one is Ink Spell, which they don't have that in German. There we go. Tintenblut, which is ink blood. And then Ink Death, Tintentod. Ink Death.
Ink Death is pretty metal as fuck.
That totally would be a great name for a metal band.
Dibs! I call dibs!
Well, you need more than one person to be in a metal band.
Yeah, that's true.
So it'll be our metal band.
I also don't know how to play any instruments.
You can sing.
No, I can't.
You can scream.
I can scream, I suppose.
It's metal. We don't have to be melodic metal. We can be screamy metal.
That's true.
Yeah. Do what we want. We can do what we want.
We can do what we
want. So yeah, I really want to read these. And then maybe in the course of reading them, some of these questions will be answered. Look at the cover for Ink Death. It looks incredible. Sorry, you can't see this. I will post it up on our socials. With I'll find the covers for all of them.
I like it.
Right? So that's a goal. It's only been out since 2007. I haven't read it. I've been busy since 2007.
Yeah.
So
we have these things called lives.
Right, and school and work. Now, well, Mo is an absolute stand-up gentleman, pure of heart. We're shifting into The Quiet American. And
what is his name?
Oh,
Alden.
My God, Alden Pyle.
Alden Pyle.
Okay, so between Thomas, what's his fucking face?
Fowler.
See,
together we know both of their names.
Yes. Between Thomas Fowler and Alden Pyle, I was legitimately torn over which one was the bigger villain. They are both villainous, which is they are both villainous.
They're both villainous,
but in incredibly different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So, The Quiet American, if you haven't watched it yet,
stop this right now.
Just
watch it.
Straight up watch it.
It's such a good movie.
Read a synopsis of it so you know what you're in for, and then watch it.
Actually, don't read a synopsis. Just watch it.
Oh, you're right. Watch the trailer.
Yeah.
You do need to know what you're in for.
You
don't just cold put that in the TV and go. Put that in the TV. I'm so old.
You are very old. What? Pop that in your VCRs.
I envision someone putting a DVD in, and no one does that. What do you do? Go to a video store and rent one? We don't have those
anymore.
I know at least once on here, I was when I was working in a video store in some podcast episode. Okay, but for real, you need to watch the trailer on YouTube it's 2024. And just know what you're in for. Do not read a synopsis on it. You are totally correct, Em.
Yeah.
But yeah, watch the trailer and then come back.
Come back. We'll be here.
Oh boy. But yeah, Alden Pyle is a CIA agent. It's only recently become the CIA. It was the OSS before that. It is during the Second Indochina War.
Yeah.
Back when Vietnam was called Indochina.
Yeah.
And this is in the lead up to the Vietnamese War. The Vietnam War, I guess same thing, whatever. It's a lead up to the Vietnam War. And it's, the 50s, the early 50s, and the CIA is causing all kinds of problems.
Just fucking about.
All over the world.
Doing their thing.
Fucking
about.
And he is a true believer.
He is an American exceptionalist.
But he believes.
He believes in America.
And capitalism.
Yep.
And freedom.
Yep.
And his version of it.
His version of freedom.
It's the 50s. He's an American man. And he's a goddamn patriot. So you can just picture that.
Yeah.
And you've got it.
You've got it. Whatever you're picturing, that's him.
It. And he... It's you kind of feel for him because he genuinely doesn't know that he's the bad guy.
He has no clue.
None. He thinks he's doing all the right things. Whew. I don't think that Thomas Fowler thinks that, but he also is so,
he's so wrapped up in his own bullshit that he doesn't really give a second thought.
He's selfish.
To him.
He's selfish.
Yeah.
and he doesn't realize that he's like, it's like Thomas Fowler kind of thinks he kind of knows that he is a villain himself, but he doesn't care enough about how his behavior affects the people around him.
Yeah.
He wants his own comforts, and he doesn't want things to change. And he's an old British man.
Yep.
And everything should come to him.
Everything should just...
Yep. Which we're going to have to talk about the author of the book that The Quiet American is based on. We'll come back to that.
We'll get to that
last
in a bit.
So, yeah.
So the movie starts out with Alden Pyle getting killed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That
starts that way.
There's no spoilers. This is like the first 5 minutes of the movie. Dead guy.
Yeah. The surprise is a CIA agent.
Yeah. Which we've already spoiled that surprise for you.
And you already stopped it.
You already stopped it and watched it, so you already know.
You didn't get spoiled. If you did get spoiled, well, that's
on you.
Go on.
Anyway.
Continue.
So, Alden Pyle is dead. Thomas Fowler identifies him, and he's like, yes, that was my friend. Mm-hmm. And then, that was my British accent. I don't know if,
Great British
I don't know if you caught that.
I thought you were British.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Blah. Anyway, says, that's my friend. And then there's this girl. And he, like, walks down to her, and he's like, he's dead. He's not coming for you. And she's like, oh my god, he was in love with me. Mm-hmm. And she's, like, distraught.
And she said she's going to go stay with her mom and think about things.
Yep.
Well, she should have stayed.
She should have stayed with her mom!
Thomas Fowler is not good for her.
So, you find out that she and Thomas Fowler were, like, a thing for, like, a couple of years.
And she doesn't want to just be the other woman. She wants to get married.
Yeah. Thomas Fowler is married to a lady in London, and...
she's Catholic.
She's Catholic.
And she didn't just become Catholic. He knew she was Catholic.
And he knew she wasn't gonna say yes to a divorce.
And here he is, fucking
around with this poor little girl.
Breaking hearts. Yeah. So you really don't like him either. And you start to not like him off the bat. But then there are points in the movie where you actually like both of them. Yeah. And then they'll do some shit, and you're like, fuck, I can't like you.
I can't like you anymore.
Really great to see Brendan Fraser as a villain, like in a role like a villain.
Yeah.
He's so good.
He needs to play villains more.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's really good. Especially, really good. True believer villains. Like, so many villains, so many real-life villains don't think that they are villains. They think that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was amazing. But yeah, so, like, when Alden Pyle meets Thomas Fowler, it's all like, he's just so friendly and open, and he's supposedly like an aid worker, and he gets to know this girl Fong through Thomas Fowler. Yep. Fong's who we've been talking about. Oh, I'm gonna burp. Oh, I knew it was happening. You're not alone now.
All right.
So, they start dancing, and like they're at this thing. There's this like place where her and her sister, Fong's sister, who I don't even think we ever get her name. She's my favorite. She's character.
My favorite. I love her so much.
She used to stab these men in the dark alley, and no one would know.
No one would know. Oh, no one would even suspect.
They would never suspect her. But they work at this place where you like pay a nickel and get a dance or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I think there were things like that in America.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Dime Dance
I think that's a thing.
is a thing.
Yeah. Anyway. And then like across the way there's like a legit brothel across the street.
Yeah.
So they dance, Pyle and Fong, and when they did that, I wrote down in my notes, ooh, he gonna steal your girl, Thomas. And he does.
And then he does.
Because obviously. Who would pick Michael Caine over Brendan Fraser? No offense, Michael Caine, but like
you're fine, but
Brendan Fraser. And they're like way more age appropriate together.
Oh yeah.
So like, dude, what the heck? Yeah, at one point I wrote, damn, Brendan is such a good actor. Oh, I also wrote, I'm English, I have habits. And then I wrote LOL. Doesn't Thomas Fowler have kids too? Or no?
I don't think he says.
Yeah,
but I would assume with a Catholic wife.
Right? He probably does.
He probably does.
And he probably has grandkids.
Probably.
Because he's like 60.
He's very old.
Yeah. So.
I can't say very old.
But he's definitely grandfather age in the film. Apparently still kicking, but
yeah.
But yeah, I was.
So what else did you?
There's a part in there when he was deciding on. I think it's when he's deciding on like to say, like to set up Alden Pyle or not, which we haven't gotten to yet in like the chronology of the thing, but like there's a moment in there where he's talking about how he like wants to save Vietnam and Phong, and sees Phong as Vietnam, and I do think that she does symbolize Vietnam in the way that like Britain and France and America are all fucking with it, everything and controlling her life. And I think that Alden Pyle really represents America, especially America in the 50s, and Thomas Fowler really represents Britain. Like, he's this older man who's used to getting his way, doesn't want things to change.
Yep.
Wants to have, like, the comforts and trappings of his life. He's, like, looking for stories to write, to send in, to keep getting money. And, like, when he first starts talking about that, he's only done, like, 3 in, like, a year.
And, like,
just sitting around, fucking drinking tea, and, yeah.
Binging Phong.
Yeah, and he doesn't ever consider how his behavior affects others. I mentioned that before because he's selfish, but like on a metaphor for his country, similar. And then Alden Pyle is totally like American exceptionalism in a man.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the twist and turn.
Yes.
Oh, it was crazy.
Okay.
So, you told me what it was going to be like.
Yes.
Because I wanted spoilers. But I still didn't know when it was going to happen. And then, he just kind of is, like, always in places when he really shouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
He's always places that, just as an aid worker and, like, a ophthalmologist or something. He's working on glasses and
eye diseases.
Yeah, there's like an eye disease, and there's this chemical compound that's used in plastic glasses, but it's also explosive. Just as a, it also is.
It also is explosive. It's no big deal.
No big deal. But yeah, he's always in places that I don't think it would be easy to get in Vietnam at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And
he just shows up.
Yeah, he's always there. And, like, Thomas is trying to get these, like, interviews with up-and-coming dictator, and somehow he's there.
He's there.
And he almost gets shot in a boat when he's, like, coming up, like, at twilight by himself in the north.
Going north. Fucking stupid.
So there's all these little signs. But then when there's this huge explosion, and there's like this little foreshadowing where like the women are in front of like having lunch, and they're like, "Oh, what's his face? The guy that works with Pyle."
Oh,
what's his name?
What is his name?
Because he's like a CIA agent, like everybody knows he is.
Everyone knows there's something up with this dude.
Yeah, they don't know what he's doing, but like they don't trust him.
He's got an American.
Freddie?
I think
it's Freddie.
Maybe.
You know what? It's forgettable.
It doesn't matter.
But you know who I'm talking about.
But they're like,
oh, he's in charge of this, and he told us to get back by like 9 a.m. sharp or whatever time it was.
So we better go.
And you see Thomas being like, well, that's kind of weird. Because, I mean, he is inquisitive. Like, as much as I talk about him, like, he's a journalist, he's a lazy fucker, but he is a journalist. So he's like, what's up with that? And then before he can like really look into it, there's this huge explosion.
Yep.
And people are like blown apart, and these innocent civilians who were just minding their fucking business, like
going about their day.
Yeah, dead or missing limbs. There's a dead baby. That's horrific. There's a man dying, bleeding to death in front of his family. And some people, are rushing in to try to help.
You see Alden Pyle just kind of walk up.
Just casually. And at first he has this look on his face like, oh, what happened, But then he shifts and he's cool and calm and collected. Then he starts yelling at people to get photos.
And he's speaking perfect Vietnamese. Oh,
it chills, man.
It does.
Also, the thing that really gave me chills was how he like slowly leans down, like while people are dying and asking for help, and he like leans down to try to clean blood off of his pants.
Off of his pant leg.
Which is you're not gonna get that off anyway, man. No. It's blood.
It's blood.
You're not just gonna like wipe that off with a napkin.
You're just gonna lose those pants.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, and he doesn't help, and like everyone else is trying to help, and that's when you know.
Yelling for photojournalists to come here and take pictures of this man who's been blown apart in front of his family. Is
right there holding on to him, and he's asking for help. He's still living, but he's not going to be for long. Oh, it's fucking. Oh. And then when there's like this like flashback memory that Thomas has of him speaking Vietnamese, you're like something has gone very wrong.
Oh yeah.
It's chilling, truly.
It truly is. Because there's a part at the beginning when Alden is dancing with Fong, and he says he only knows 2 Vietnamese words. I want to say beer and haircut.
Yes.
And
I was suspicious.
I was not.
Because you're just nicer than me.
I was just like, oh, look how charming and befuddled he is.
I was like, really? Those sound like dumb words for the only words
you've been here for a while and you only know those 2 words. How cute.
You didn't learn hello and goodbye. You learned beer and haircut.
Beer and haircut.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's an American male.
Like, I know some Russian, and those are not the first 2 words I learned.
I know no Russian.
Well, piva is beer.
Piva.
I don't fucking know what haircut is. See how often I use that? I've never asked for a haircut in Russian. I just think he would have learned, like, hello and goodbye, and, like, yes and no, and that's, like, fucking dumb.
You would think he would at least know how to say, where's the bathroom?
Yes! Or the library. That's what
everybody library. Knows. Everyone knows how to say that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that in Vietnamese. So.
No, but that's like when you're learning a language. When you're learning a language, it's like one of the first things you learn. Like, where is the library? What is this?
That's all I'm going to learn in Vietnamese.
You should learn it. Yeah.
Just, where's the library?
I'm sure you'll have lots of reasons to use that around here in this small town.
In this small town.
Oh my god. But yeah, it is really chilling. And then there's that whole moment where after that thing happens and there's a definite turning in the movie. And then the assistant, Thomas's assistant, we haven't talked about.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I just coughed like so close to the mic. I hope it was not crazy loud. But Thomas's assistant is clearly communist.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, he sees it. He knows what's up. He's like, he is not on the up and up. He is not with aid welfare people.
Yeah.
And in fact, Thomas accuses him of like being the boss and actually running the whole thing. And Alden Pyle does not correct him.
Nope.
So then he's kidnapped. Or attempted to.
Attempted
kidnapping.
So Michael Caine is working with his assistant man. Throughout. And the assistant is like, oh shit, this guy is like a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I know some guys who just want to talk.
Just want to talk
to him.
We won't hurt him.
Just want to talk to him.
Yeah.
And if you're cool with us just talking to him, stand on your balcony and open a book. Then we'll be like, good to go.
you know what makes him open that book is whenever he's like, do you feel any regret at all over what you did and like all the innocent people? And then, of course, because he's all Mr. American exceptionalism,
he's like, the ends justify the means.
Mm-hmm.
And that's terrifying.
Yeah. And he says it so calmly and confidently and like in a kind way of like, well, this is how it is. Don't you understand? And you're like, no, man.
No.
No.
I don't.
You're the bad guy right now.
You're the baddie.
You're the baddie.
Your hat has a skull on it.
I love that skit.
I do too.
But yeah. And then he's like, well, I'm going to open the book.
I'm opening this book right now.
And he sets up the dinner.
And he's like, we'll meet here at some French word at some 9 o'clock. And
he's all, oh, I'll bring Fong. And he's like, oh, no, have her meet us here later.
Have her meet us here later.
How is that not a hint to the CIA agent that something is wrong?
I don't know. Never said he was the brightest bulb.
But I hate that he takes his dog.
I do too.
It's not the dog's fault. Damn. And dogs don't know their people are bad. They're their people.
They're just dogs.
They're just dogs. And you guys, you either watched it or you're in for the spoilers and you don't care. So, dog dies.
Dog dies.
Luckily, we don't see it on screen. We just see the dog, like, fight to try to protect him as he's being killed. Because, you all know he's dead.
He's dead.
It's in the beginning of the movie. And the death scene is phenomenal. He does a really good job. He does such a good job. Yeah.
That looked so painful.
But yeah, you don't see the dog die, but then you are told that its throat was slit, which is like really fucking overkill.
Yeah.
Damn.
Unnecessary.
But yeah, there's like this whole scene where he's running. Alden Pyle, Brendan Fraser's character, he's like running, and it's like, I don't know, makes your heart race. And then when he gets stabbed, he looks so surprised.
Yeah.
And just falls like in a normal. It's not like over exaggerated. It's just like how you would fall if you were stabbed.
How you would fall if you were stabbed. It just looks horrifically
And they didn't
painful.
even try to talk to him.
Mm-mm.
So I don't think that was the intention at any point in time. No. They weren't going to be like, "Hey, man, are you in charge of this?" Or like, "Take me to the dude up north that you're working with,
Johnny or Freddie or Timmy."
No, they just stab him.
They just fucking stab him.
So I imagine that the working relationship between Thomas and what's his face, it's not going to be good.
Not going to be great.
Yeah. But our guy Brendan needs to play more villains because he did a phenomenal job.
He really did.
Especially complex villains.
Yeah.
That like hardcore believe what they are doing is right.
The ones where you're not sure if he's the worst bad guy.
And the whole time, Fong's sister is like, do not be with this fucking Thomas guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Fong gets with Pyle, she's like, awesome, good. He's age appropriate. He's American. He says he's going to marry you and take you to America. This other guy lied to you and said his wife was going to give you a divorce, lied to you and said he was going to marry you. You can't trust him. And I feel so bad for Fong's sister because she's finally like, oh, all right, my little sister has a man who's going to marry her and do the right thing. And he fully intends to. She starts dressing all Western and they talk about Boston and he fully intends because he does not think he's the bad guy and he fully intends to like take her home and marry her and he just wants to do it with his parents there.
Yep.
He is in fact that guy and she doesn't know that he's involved in all this. She kind of knows that he's doing some shady shit.
He's doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Something is fucky.
But then also that dude that he's working with is really popular.
Yeah.
Like that warlord guy is very popular and so she may not think that's bad. I don't know what her political leanings are.
She's kind of set dressing.
She doesn't get to have a full complex character.
Yeah.
Her sister does though, because her sister is like, I want my sister to be able to get married like she wants and live a good life.
That's all Fong's sister wants.
Yeah.
And I love Fong's sister.
Me too. She just wants to take care of her little sister
Yep.
and survive in this chaotic world of Vietnam in 1952. And I know they're fictional, but I would like to think that they got out somehow. It didn't look like it, though.
I don't think so, because speaking of undeserved happy endings.
Oh, yeah, that fucker Thomas.
Thomas Fowler walks up to Fawn.
She's come back from her mother's. She's at the dance place again.
And he's like, I bought a ticket.
And she's like, anyone else?
He's like, I don't want anyone else. Again, another stellar British accent.
Mm-hmm. Great accent. Great British. I just forgot I was talking to you. I thought I was a British man. But like, once again, he just expects, like Britain, that he can have whatever he wants.
But then it fucking happens.
Yeah.
She fucking dances with him.
It's so disappointing. It's like, she's settling. She wants to feel special and she wants to feel loved, even though she knows that she's settling for this fucker who will never marry her. And when Vietnam War breaks out, he just fucks off to London.
He's just gonna leave.
He's gonna get on a chopper, ride the fuck out, and leave her there.
Mm-hmm.
So mad. So mad. So yeah, they're two villains, man. And
which one's worse?
And at times you care about both of them.
Yeah.
And then you're mad at both of them. But they are complex characters. It was a really good movie.
It was a really good movie.
Oh shit, I almost forgot we gotta talk about the author.
I was gonna bring it back to the author of this piece.
Same thought. So this is based on a book by the same name, and there was also another adaptation done in 1958, which is very fucking different because it's 1958, so it's basically propaganda, and Alden Pyle is not a bad guy in that one. I want to watch that. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's an American movie in 1958, so yeah, Alden Pyle's character is not
Who did they get to play Pyle and...
an actual, well, let me go back to the name here, but an actual, like, war hero, basically, from the World War II.
So it was straight real.
Yeah, straight propaganda.
Straight propaganda.
Let me just pull it up again, because I had it on my phone, and I will get that.
Is it Audie Murphy?
Yes, I think so.
There's like an Army award.
Yeah, I think it was Audie Murphy. Graham Greene's best-selling 1955 novel of the same name. Yeah, Audie Murphy. Audie Murphy plays Austin. Fuck. Alden Pyle. And it's entirely different. So I read the whole synopsis, like the plot and everything, and it's Alden Pyle is constantly the good guy. It totally takes out any kind of anti-war message, which was in the book and in the 2002. Oh yeah. Technically.
2001.
It came out in 2002. That's a whole
Wasn't
other
gonna.
thing. Wasn't gonna. We'll get to that
We'll
too.
get to that in a second.
So yeah, it was basically just propaganda 1958. And there's this really excellent blog article that I am going to link on our socials because everybody should read it if they're interested in this.
Yes.
It goes into The Quiet American, the book, and both movie adaptations, and how they are very much a product of their time, and the way that the whole thing is presented to us is a product of their time. So, by 2001, we have a more jaded view of the CIA.
Mm-hmm.
And by jaded, I mean like disillusioned.
Yeah.
But in 1958, oh no, anything at all anti-war was basically seen as anti-American. You have the Cold War going on and shit. So
what are you, a fucking commie?
Exactly. So yeah, very different film.
But
Graham Greene, dude. So Graham Greene is the author, and surprise, surprise, he's an older British man. I mean, he's dead now. He died in 1991. Yeah. He was born in 1904, so if he was alive now, vampire.
Obviously.
So he lived a good long life, though, 1904 to 1991. But yeah, he was an English writer and journalist.
Huh.
He was in Indochina. In the same time frame.
What?
And he said that he based the character of Alden Pyle on an actual agent that he ran into driving back to Saigon from somewhere else. Like, that who ranted about having like a third force, third whatever.
I think it's third force.
Yeah, which is like something to control things so that the Vietnamese are like taken care of, like they can't just do it themselves. Ugh. Yeah. So anyway, apparently he had this whole, which is a rant in the movie that Alan Pyle has, and he just like took that directly from his life. Anyway, he also had a Catholic wife back in London. And he was a agnostic, he describes himself as. He like converted to Catholicism, but he never really like believed it.
Yeah.
And basically was just separated from his wife for a really long time and had a couple of lovers. So seems a little bit like self-insert fanfiction.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not that's not cool, man.
It's not.
So, yeah, that's Graham Greene.
That's Graham Greene.
But the 2002 adaptation of Quiet American that we've been talking about was actually 2001 adaptation. And I learned about this, blew my mind. Like, with the bad timing. The timing. Because this is a movie with an anti-war message. A very clear America fucks shit up in the 50s, let's be honest about it message. And really not like rose-colored glasses on a lot of things. Like, because we have these two main characters who aren't good. But it was actually first screened.
Screened for critics.
Yeah, and like the public.
Oh.
Even. Yeah, they had like a public, like they had like a, you know, like how they would have movies you could see in the mall. I don't know if that's how they were doing it, but it said like just people were watching it. So in 2001, September 10th, they had a first screening, and everybody loved it. Loved it.
Oof.
So great. September 10th.
September 10th.
They had another screening next day, and everybody was angry about it.
Yeah.
Shit had happened.
Spoilers for history.
Spoilers for history for anyone who's 23 and doesn't watch television ever. Yeah, 9/11.
9/11 happened.
Yeah, and it wasn't a good time to say anything that was in any way criticizing America at any point in time in history. It was terrifying. We all were just becoming adults at that time. Mm-hmm. Just so y'all know, we're old.
We're very old.
And it was like we remember the before, we remember the after, and the effect of 9/11 on film,
everything.
Yeah, film, literature, comedy, the words you'd say even in your own home, like how it music. Oh man, it was a night and day shift.
Crazy.
So they waited, they shelved it. Wisely, I think. Shelved it for a year. I think it was still incredibly brave to put it out in 2002.
Yeah.
I didn't know about it though, so maybe it wasn't in all theaters everywhere, because I don't remember seeing it. We were grown. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know how popular it was. Yeah, what a time.
Craziness.
And then in 2003, we went to war in Iraq. We were already in war Afghanistan.
Yeah.
I can normally say that word. So we were already in war with Afghanistan. By 2003, we went to war with Iraq. In 2002, they actually released this film. Oh, God. Ballsy. But yeah, now I have 2 books I gotta read.
Yep.
I want to see what I have read from that really awesome blog article that I will definitely link somewhere. I'll put it like on our link tree, and then I'll, show people where they can go to find it when it's up there. So by the time you're listening to this, it'll be there. But yeah, I want to read that book and see how close it is to the movie. Because what I've read is that the 2002 one is pretty close to. And I need to read Inkheart now and see if there's things that we don't understand. So I got books to read and no time to read them in, but I got goals.
Yep.
Audiobooks. Where is that? You're always telling me.
Yep. That's how I read Dune.
Oh, man. I'm so glad you read Dune. I wish Brendan Fraser was in Dune. So we could talk
so
about
we can talk
it.
about Dune.
I could talk about Dune for 1,000 years.
I know you could.
Maybe he'll be in the next one. There's a lot of characters.
There's a lot of characters.
So, Denis Villeneuve, if you're listening, you need to cast Brendan Fraser. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
And I hope you're listening.
Right?
I
hope you are.
Yeah. Rate and review.
Follow us on Instagram.
I would pass straight out.
I would too.
Oh, God. Is there anything we're forgetting about these two films? Oh my gosh. There's always me one thing I forget.
Inkheart's got his problems, but it's very sweet.
Yeah. White Americans is straight up amazing.
White American is so good.
Such a good movie. Suspenseful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You for real don't know. Well, now you do, but
yeah. Brendan Fraser is amazing in both of them. He's a great dad as Mo.
Great dad.
He's a
great villain.
Yeah. Pretty chilling. Pretty chilling villain, predominantly because he just really believes it.
Yep.
He can do everything.
He's
got range, man.
He does.
Got range. Best actor of our generation.
Possibly of all time.
Viva la Renaissance.
Viva la Renaissance. Hey, wait, before we go.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I want to just kind of give you guys like a sneak peek of what we're doing next.
Oh, yeah. What are we watching next? I don't remember.
So we're watching George of the Jungle.
Yes.
And we're watching Crash.
Oh, God. I hate that movie. I forgot. We had to watch it. I hate it so much. God damn it.
But we might have a special guest.
That's true. Next week we might have a special guest. He's flaky sometimes, but he's a lot of fun.
He is.
He hates it too.
He does.
I hope he joins me.
He hates a lot of things. But he specifically said he hates the movie Crash.
Oh, I forgot we had to watch it.
Yep.
God, I forgot he was in it. Oh, man. Alright, I'll survive.
Yep.
I'm gonna get wasted.
Yep.
It's the only way I'm gonna get through that movie.
That movie fucking sucks.
Which means I'm going to be real unfiltered.
Oh, yeah.
Prepare yourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun, guys.